Once you have signed your revocable living trust, the real work begins. With a trust, there is more work up front so that your loved ones hopefully will not need to do as much work after your death. Since the trust only distributes what it owns, you will need to transfer assets to the trust. There are two main ways to do this. The first is to name the trust as the owner of an asset. The second is to name the trust as a primary or secondary beneficiary on an asset. When you name the trust as an owner or beneficiary, you will want to be careful to use the proper terminology. In general, for John and Mary Doe, who are the trustees of a trust signed January 1, 2020, the correct language would be John Doe and Mary Doe as trustees of the John and Mary Doe Trust signed January 1, 2020. Please note you cannot begin to fund your trust until it is signed. The signing date is an important part of the funding language. Let's go through some common assets and discuss how they work best with a trust. Bank accounts. For savings accounts, checking accounts, safe deposit boxes, and certificates of deposit, it is best to name the trust as the owner of the account. You will need to contact your local bank for the proper paperwork. It is not uncommon for them to ask you to close your current account and open another one in the name of the trust. This is especially true of credit unions. For certificates of deposit, you may wish to wait until the certificate matures before naming your trust as the owner. This will help avoid penalties. If your account has a transfer on death or payable on death provision, you can use that instead of changing ownership. In this case, married couples will want to name the spouse as the primary beneficiary and the trust as the secondary beneficiary. Single persons will want to name the trust as the primary beneficiary. Securities. Publicly traded stocks, mutual funds, and brokerage accounts work in much the same way as bank accounts. It is best to have the trust as the owner of these accounts. You will need to contact your broker to find out what is necessary to change ownership. If you do online trading, you should find a change of ownership form on the website. Retirement accounts. IRAs, pensions, 401ks, 403bs, and the like must be handled with care when you have a trust. In some cases, it is advantageous to use the trust as the primary or secondary beneficiary. In other cases, it is a disadvantage to do so. We highly recommend you consult your financial advisor or income tax preparer to determine which is more beneficial to your specific situation. Your representative is available to be part of the conversation. Factors to consider include if you have minor children and if you included a charitable gift in the distribution of your trust. In any case, you should not change the ownership of a retirement account to your trust. If you and your professional advisors agree it is in your best interest to name the trust as a beneficiary, the custodian of those assets will likely have their own form for you to use. Married persons will generally name the spouse as primary beneficiary and the trust as secondary beneficiary. Single persons will generally name the trust as primary beneficiary. Life insurance. Rather than changing the ownership of a life insurance policy, married couples will want to name the spouse as the primary beneficiary and the trust as the secondary beneficiary. Single persons will want to name the trust as the primary beneficiary. Your insurance agent should have the necessary forms to help you with this change. Real estate. Ownership of real estate will need to be changed with a deed. We strongly recommend you have the deed prepared by an attorney. If you submitted any deeds to your representative, the attorney has already prepared new deeds for you. Once signed and notarized, deeds will need to be recorded in the county where the property is located. Your property taxes should not be uncapped by this process. If you have a mortgage on the property, it is good to let the mortgage company know the property is now owned by your trust. If you have title insurance or homeowner's insurance on the property, make sure the trust is listed as an insured party. Savings bonds. Most savings bonds are now owned electronically. You will need to use your Treasury Direct account to have the bonds reissued in the name of the trust. If you still own paper savings bonds, use FS Form 1851 to change ownership. This form is available at the website on the screen. Tangible personal property. Your household goods were transferred to the trust when you signed Exhibit A in the trust document. If you have insurance on any of your household goods, you should advise your insurance agent so the trust can be added as an insured party. Motor vehicles. Automobiles, motorhomes, mobile homes, trailers, and the like have a certificate of title. You will want the trust to be listed on the title as the owner. This can be accomplished through your local branch of the state agency that issues titles. There is usually a fee for this change. So, if you own a low-cost or high-debt vehicle, or if you switch vehicles often, you may wish to wait until you purchase the next vehicle to list the trust as the owner. You will want to inform any insurance carrier on these items that ownership has changed to the trust and ensure coverage will continue. Just a few more important items before we are through. You may be concerned about forgetting to put an asset into the trust. Don't worry. Your attorney also prepared a special type of will called a pour-over will that will transfer forgotten assets to the trust after you pass away. However, one of the main reasons to do a trust is to avoid probate. Forgotten assets will go through the probate system, so it is best to be proactive in transferring assets into the trust during your lifetime. This video covers general instructions regarding some of the most typically owned assets. However, each person's situation is unique. If you have a question about your particular situation, please do not hesitate to contact your representative. If you disclose to your representative that you have a land contract, an LLC, or other type of company, debt with a family member, or any other unique asset, the attorney likely addressed that in the cover letter that accompanied your documents. The information in this video is available in a written format on our website. A customized version of the information was sent with your estate plan in a document printed on green paper titled Transferring Assets into the Trust. We acknowledge that funding your trust will take time and effort, but by doing it properly now, your heirs should have an easier time processing your estate, and it will all be worth it.